in the office. I get there at 7:40 in the morning. Somebody else was already running their meeting at 7 a.m. Like, I gotta throw that out there. Like, they meet every day, 7 a.m. in suits and ties, and they were jumping off the walls with the freaking they got like the music bumping, and I was just like, holy shiz, are we in an effing festival at 7 a.m. on a Tuesday? You know what I mean? And just to see that, and then, you know, just like exudes culture. Like, I was like, this is like singing my song.
I remember when I started my career in sales, like I got to the point where I started building a team and I started getting close to success, and then I quit, as always. Because I was like, I don't know, I had this disease that whenever success was really close, I quit. And in the sales career, that was the first time that I actually came back and I finished what I started.
What's up, everybody? Sam Taggart here with the DDD podcast, and flew all the way 24 hours to be here to do this freaking podcast, so you better freaking listen. All the way here in Brisbane, Australia, 24-hour flight. Came out here to do a 2-day on-site with community. Good laughing. We're gonna keep going. Hold on, keep going.
Let's go.
So, Community Collective. I'm laughing because it's like our 5th day. We're sitting here and I kept saying collective community, and then we kept saying the wrong things. And so, awesome people. I'm here with Patrick and Jeremy, and these guys are the founders and partners in this. What they do is they're like a sales arm that goes and gets different campaigns to, whether that's, you know, they've done energy, they do a lot of the charities like Red Cross and Doctors Without Borders, to doing, you know, adding different services now. And they say, hey, we're just gonna build a badass sales army and plug in whatever campaign makes sense. And they have kind of these like little missions, like, you need to go raise $4 million for this company, ready to go. And, you know, it's kind of a different world. Like, a lot of us, you know, in the States, if we're used to like pest control or solar or roofing or whatever. So super excited to see what it looks like international. And, you know, spending the last 2 days with these guys, I actually went to their office, went to their training, saw how they ran their leadership meetings, see how they run their structures. And I'm like, wow, how cool, like super sharp, super impressed by you guys. And a lot I learned, but a lot I think that we just shed some light onto like what we're missing in Australia, that excited to see what's going on. So I guess how have the last 2 days been for you guys?
Mind-blowing. It's been fucking awesome. Am I allowed to swear? Yeah.
Yeah, you too.
No, it's been absolutely amazing. It's been a shock to how much we don't know, but it's been I think timely as well. It's the right time for us to evolve, for us to grow. We think we're the best here, but what you guys are doing over there as well, it blows my mind off.
Yeah. No, it's interesting because you say like, and you guys are one of the best here, and it's like, you know, you could either be the biggest fish in a little pond or a little fish in a big pond, and
100%.
until we know what pond we're even effing swimming in, it's hard to know that, right? And I think like just seeing and getting exposure and being willing to get uncomfortable and invest in that, like, opens our eyes, and the competitive selves are sitting there going, oh yeah, bet, let's go. You know what I mean? That was fun to watch. What about you, Patrick?
Yeah, an eye-opener for me, right? Because whatever you just said before, like, we fell into the trap of feeling like that we are the best over here and we didn't have anybody to look up to. And to me personally, it's very good to feel small again. Like, after you came here, we are like, fuck me, like, we have 99% to go. And yeah, we have good systems and everything in place, but after what we have seen that you guys do over in the US, there is a lot of stuff to implement.
Yeah.
And that makes us really excited again, right? Because for a while we thought, oh, we kind of hit the cap here, and now you're like, no, you haven't even got started.
Yeah.
So we're excited again. We're excited to implement everything that you guys do over there and smash it.
Love it.
Yeah.
So kind of tell us a little bit about your background. So you're originally from border of Italy, Switzerland.
That's right. So I'm Italian family. I was raised in Switzerland. So as you know, in Switzerland we speak 4 languages.
Yeah.
Right? So we speak Italian, German, French, and then a weird language, which is the mix of the previous 3. I don't know what the fuck that is, but somebody speaks it. I was raised on the Italian border, so I live like 5 minutes from Italy. And then I worked in my family business for a while. I went to uni, I have a triple degree. I moved to Brighton, close to London, to study English. And then 8 years ago, I moved here to Australia and I started my career in sales. right?
So interesting. So
yeah.
it's like, and then how many times you're like, this is my last year. Why am I doing this? And you're still crushing, you know? It's
Many times.
Yeah, it's like that. It's so funny. We all think like, oh, like that's just a Utah thing, or that's just but yet you're sitting there going, oh shit, like we just got a second wind. Like we're going hard, and it's been 8 years. So that's really cool.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, many times. My original plan was to stay here for a month. So I was actually I got a seat at Berkeley University to do a master in international business. So I was supposed to have that gap here and then go over there in San Francisco and do that. So I booked my ticket back after a month, and then I started sales, and I don't know, I loved everything that I was learning. I loved the competitive aspect, the performing aspect a lot. Then fell in love with the industry, fell in love with coaching, and 8 years later I'm still here.
That is so cool. Okay, what about you, Jeremy?
I'm not as interesting as him. I always go after you as well. Every time we get asked this question, tell us your background, I always go after, but I'm just from Australia. I'm just an Aussie kid from Newcastle, so it's near Sydney. You've been to Sydney before?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so a little small town, grew up, average background, average parents, beautiful parents. And, you know, I was always ambitious, always wanted to be something more, didn't know what that more was going to be, and fell into sales, loved it. On my first day, I was writing down company names. First Touch Marketing was the first company name that I ever wanted to create. And yeah, I really went with it. So I was doing events, street fundraising, shopping centre fundraising, selling lotteries as well, doing energy for my first year and a half, 2 years, and then started a company at 21, which was very ballsy and fucked for the first few years. I went up, down, but reached a really good level of, I suppose, maturity, because I had to do a lot of inner growth. And yeah, here I am today.
That's so cool.
Like I said, not as interesting as from Lugano. Where is it? Lugano.
Yeah, it's called Mendrisio, close to Lugano.
Close to Lugano.
I love that.
A little village of 5,000 people.
So you have this mission, and I love it was on the wall, and it kind of had 3 pillars. Kind of tell us about your mission of like what you guys are trying to accomplish here at this company.
Look, I think I speak for both of us when we've really got this aligned of who we are, and we want to really help the young generation overcome self-doubt and build unwavering confidence. And we naturally do that with our culture of pushing people outside their comfort zone by teaching sales. Obviously, you know the amount of comfort zones sales breaks. We do that with a second step as well, because that's the first step, obviously, and building the right habits within an individual. We've created some awesome frameworks where all our guys can follow. There's a WINS framework, where it means work ethic, input focus, no distractions, segmenting your day. They can focus on that on the field. And then there's a great framework, which is get up, read, exercise, affirmations, and time management. And we really feel like having the right habits and building the right habits within all our employees or all our talent, I like to call them, will build consistency, predictability, and longevity for them. Because with our right habits, you can't be consistent, you can't predict your results, and longevity of success, it really doesn't exist. And then the third step, we really like to elevate and empower people to inspire others. Scaling is one of the best things and funnest things in business. But when someone nails step 1 and step 2, then it's their responsibility and their duty and their obligation, I believe, to inspire others and help other people around them.
Love that. So let's talk about that first one with like self-doubt. Like it was interesting going in there today and seeing 3 or 4 people. It was their first day ever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and they were sharp-looking cats. Like I will give that to you. I go to some offices and like everybody smells like smoke, and it's just like they're like way overweight. They got like, you know, just sitting there just like,
we got standards.
Yeah. When was the last time that guy showered? And you know, so you had sharp. Everybody was in suits and ties. Guys, fathom this. Walk into office. I get there at 7:40 in the morning. Somebody else was already running their meeting at 7 a.m. Like I gotta throw that out there. Like they meet every day, 7 a.m. in suits and ties, and they were jumping off the walls with the freaking and they got like the music bumping, and I was just like, holy shiz, are we in an effing festival at 7 a.m. on a Tuesday? You know what I mean? And just to see that, and then, you know, just like exudes culture. Like I was like, this is like singing my song. But talk about self-doubt. Like where did, you know, as a new rep comes in, you recruited this guy, and he goes into the doors and he's like, I feel like self-doubt can be created worse or better in this job sometimes. They go get their face kicked in, is that like, how do you really feel like sales or this job has helped people in your organization, yourselves, really overcome self-doubt?
For sure. Yeah, look, I agree with you. I think if you don't have systems in place, right, the self-doubt can actually get worse by doing this job, because if you just throw somebody into the deep end and you're not systemizing your approach and you don't have precise techniques that you follow to teach them how to do it, well, then you're just gonna make it worse, right? And you're gonna, the belief that to be good at sales, you need to be extroverted and you need to be cocky or whatever is even gonna be reinforced in their brain. So I guess for us to help the young generation overcoming self-doubt, we have developed a very simple framework that we teach to everybody that joins the company. And by following this framework, within 5 days, we can get pretty much everybody up to speed, right? Yeah. So what that does, transitions people from a reality where they try to avoid rejections at all costs, because that's how people label rejections. They're horrible, they're terrible. And what we do, we try to avoid them like some sort of disease, right? And then all of a sudden they transition to a reality where they get paid to deal with rejections and they can start overcoming that successfully, and that, switches their paradigms, right? So that's the first step. They're like, well, I thought I could and now I can. And reposition the relationship that they have with failure as well. Yeah. Because they understand, well, by going through a lot of failure, at the end of the path, then I'm gonna find success. And we think, we believe that principle then is reapplied to whatever dream they might wanna follow later on. Because when you wanna follow whatever dream you might have, it's not just gonna happen when you open the first door, right? You're not just gonna be like, oh, I wanna have that, boom, I got it. Yeah. You're gonna go through a lot of shit, you're gonna go through a lot of setbacks, you're gonna go through a lot of failures, but nobody prepares you for that. Whereas once you learn sales, you know that that's gonna happen. Like, do you know what I mean? You can see the journey before you even started. So that's how I think that the first step really helps them overcome self-doubt, by reframing the way they think about a lot of things.
And so obviously, after you got in sales, like you said, you can already know that there's gonna be challenges and rejection and things like that. What's maybe something that you've had to deal with throughout your sales career or entrepreneurial career that maybe was challenging that you were able to overcome?
For me, the main challenge, like, I always felt that I was gonna create something big in my life, and I always felt that I was gonna be special. But I never finished what I started, ever. I started playing instruments and then I didn't finish. I was playing sports and then I didn't finish. I started a rap career. I was doing freestyle for like 6 years back in Switzerland. I was the number 1 best. I did 46 freestyle battles. I won 44. I only lost twice. Like, I was really good. And
he is good.
Yeah.
Just drop a beat.
He should rap. It's just like beatboxing.
I want to hear. I'm not a beatboxer. I want to hear a rap battle on the podcast.
A rap battle. Nobody can rap in Italian here. And as I was about to be signed by a label, then I turned it down last minute, right? So I remember when I started my career in sales, like, I got to the point where I started building a team and I started getting close to success, and then I quit, as always, because I was like, I don't know, I had this disease that whenever success was really close, I quit. And in the sales career, that was the first time that I actually came back and I finished what I started. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I guess the beauty of this job is you see the end result of what you're trying to achieve on a daily basis. And because the culture is so supportive, they help you to get there. So for the first time in my life, I wanted to achieve something, but I could see other people in the room that have achieved whatever it is that I was trying to achieve. So I remember when I quit, I called my mom and I said, hey, I'm out of this, it's bullshit. My mom, she was like, have you seen anyone getting promoted to the position that you want at this company? And I was like, yeah, many people. And she was like, well, so if you are my son, now you fucking go back, you finish what you started, and then when you get promoted, if you don't like it, then you quit the same day. But don't quit thinking that what you're chasing might not be for you. Because that's what most people do, they justify with excuses, right? So through this job, initially was the first time in my life that I actually finished what I started. And when I finished it, it recreated a whole new sense of confidence for me, because I was like, fuck, like, I can do it. And then once I was able to do that, I was able to do a million of other things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was for me.
I love that.
Yeah.
What about you, Jeremy? I mean, what year did you get into this?
2013. 2013.
So it's almost been 10 years.
Almost, yeah, 10-year anniversary.
He's almost at his 10th
I actually remember the exact date. So it was February 17th, 2013. So a 10-year anniversary party.
You
coming
you looked like 7 years old back then.
Nah,
Yeah.
4. I look 4, yeah. I was knocking doors, looking like a 4-year-old.
So you run more the sales side. You're more operation. It seems like you're definitely more like that. Let's go, rah rah, like beat down the door kind of guy.
You'd be surprised though.
I mean, it sounds like you both know how to freaking sell though. Like,
I'm
but,
pretty introverted.
You're pretty introverted. I guess what are some advice you'd give? You know, I get this a lot where it's like a rep is down. You've obviously coached a lot of reps. How would you help somebody that is kind of going into a slump in the sense of they're getting the self-doubt, they can't seem to kind of finish what they started, or they're like, fuck, is this even for me? I'm dealing with that. How do you coach a guy out of a slump?
It's a really good question. I don't think there's just one way to answer that. I think it depends on the situation. But the first thing I always do, I always get them to look at what's happening in their life at the time of that slump. So I get them to assess what's going on in their personal life, get them to assess their habits at the time, get them to assess who they're hanging around with, if anything's changed dramatically. If there's something that's changed for when maybe they were doing well then life is cause and effect. I'll make it really evident of no wonder you're doing shit right now. You're hanging around shit people, you're not going to the gym, you're not working hard, your attitude's crap, you're coming unorganised. So it's all these little basic things that really compound, and then making them aware. It's like, okay, that's maybe why I'm doing shit, because I am shit and I'm being shit. Then they just flip it on its head. And I said, what would you do? How would you operate right now and today if all those things were the opposite? You were hanging around good people, you woke up this morning, you went to the gym, you're in the office early, you look good, you feel good, you were planned, you were organised, you took action today, you had a great attitude. And they always say the same thing. I'll do a PB, I'll do 5 sales, I'll do 6 sales, I'll do 10 sales. And I walk away. That's it.
I love that.
That's all I do.
Yeah.
I make people really realise and aware that their life is, what's happening to them right now is just the sum of their environment and the sum of all the causes that's happening. Again, cause and effect. Like you can't, they can't change as well without knowing this is why. So it's really simple.
Love that. So one of the things I noticed this morning was kind of your leadership. You had your core meeting, then you had your breakouts, and then you had your sales meeting, and then you sent them out to knock, right? In the core meeting, I was all like, wow, this is super impressive. Like, and both of you were like, that was crap. And I was like, what the heck? Like, and I was impressed. Like, I was like, damn, like, I wasn't even trying to like flatter. Like, I wasn't just sitting here trying to be like, oh, you know, cool. I do that with some companies.
We were thinking you were faking it.
No, but it shows that you have a really high standard for what a meeting should look like,
Yeah.
what a leadership should present himself with, how they should carry a meeting, which everybody listening to this, knowing that I just saw that and I was giving them praises and they're like, oh, that was shit. I was like, okay, I wonder what their excellent looks like. So like, describe to us maybe a few things that you find really key, important things that must have in a meeting as a leader, as you present, as you lead a team. What are some qualities and systems that you need to make sure happen to give that a 10 out of 10?
I think the first things first, the intentions need to be right. And it's just like, what's my intentions? What's the purpose of this meeting? And that's going to change day by day. Today we had a lot of new people, and the irrelevant information that the leaders were getting taught to then take out to the new people, it just didn't align. They needed to have their intentions and attention focused on today, the mission, the purpose. The energy was a bit flat. We need to raise the blood pressure a little bit more. People need to engage a little bit more and attack the day with absolute intention.
Well, and it's cool because he says the energy is flat, and I'm like, they get up and he's like, good morning, good morning. I was like, oh, gosh.
It was
good
flat.
morning, good morning.
It was flat at times.
I love it.
No,
But it was really cool to watch how they raise and play the roller coaster of energy. But keep going.
It was flat at times, and yet we do have really high standards, and everything has to be immaculate. And we've been very observant of when things are good, and we're very deliberate in our approach when we're in the office. It's kind of like a performance, but it's also authentic. Like, I'm a very passionate person. He's a fucking passionate person, probably the most passionate person I know.
I'm Italian.
He's Italian, so all Italians are passionate. But I think, what was missing today was the fluency in the intention, and it just didn't align with what needed to happen today. It was good. It was good. It wasn't excellent, and it wasn't what needed to happen today. That's why I was harsh. I was maybe a little bit harsh.
No, but what's interesting, this is why I'm bringing this up, is because I watch so many sales owners, managers, and sometimes including myself, go into a meeting and be like, hey, everybody, like, and it's just because I do 5 meetings a week every day. You know what I mean? It just becomes this lackadaisical, whatever. And I'm like, I wonder how many meetings Vinny's ran, and to keep it intense, to keep it intentional, keep it of value.
Yeah.
And like how important that is, because I've gone into so many freaking companies and I'm just like, dude, that was embarrassing. Like I wouldn't even want to show up if this is how it was. You know what I mean?
But I think for that one also, it's about realizing as the leader of the organization, it's your job to walk through a door and make a difference, right? People should feel that you're walking through a door before they even see you. That's kind of how I always explain to my guys. When you walk through a door, people should turn. They can't hear. They don't know that you're there, but there is a presence. They're like, fuck, he's here now. Do you know what I mean? So for me, it's like, we teach the guys that when they go to the field, they need to have energy that needs to be contagious. They need to put effort into every single conversation. They need to be excited. They need to use their smile. They need to use emotions and so on and so forth. That's what we teach the guys in the field. Now, most managers don't go to the field. Like their job is to make an impact in the office in the morning. So it's like, what you said before is like, well, they do it five times a week. So what? Like that's the role. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know, personally, even when I have some mornings when I don't feel like it, I literally stop at the door, I take a deep breath, and I'm like, all right, the moment that I walked into this door, it's no more Patrick from my personal life that maybe didn't have a good morning or whatever. The moment that I walk through his door, this is business Patrick. And business Patrick is here to make an impact, make a difference. And when I walk into this building, I'm gonna lift everybody's spirit by, overcompensating with mine. That's how I look at it.
I love that. It's contagious. And I think a lot of people don't realize, like, most frequency that people operate at is pretty low. It's like kind of like,
100%.
I hope I sell today. I'm still broke. I'm here. How long can I be here for? You know what I mean? It's just like, that's the energy in the room. All of a sudden, some dude gets up there and he's like, let's go. And it's like, oh, okay, I'm here. You know what I mean? It's like, I just like, even just to watch some of the reps. Like I watched some of the reps as we got going, the energetic level change. And I was like, that's what people are leaving that office with, going out and talking to people and transferring that energy. And it's like, sales is a transfer of energy. And if they
transfer of energy and emotion, that's right.
If they can't get this uptick from the leader, then you're sending them out there disarmed. It's like they're all
The office at the end of the day, it's always a reflection of the person running.
100%.
Like that's always it, right? When people are, I got an issue, I don't know what's the problem with my office. The first question is, well, what's the problem with you? And that's going to be the problem with your office.
The way I look at the office as well is kind of like, I love soccer. I'm an Arsenal fan, and it's like if the players aren't playing well on the pitch, where did they go wrong? Was it when they walked onto the pitch, or was it at training that week? And the way I look at an office, like if you don't get the drills right, if you don't get the intensity right, if you didn't train right, well, how are you going to win on the field? You don't give yourself any chance. So mentality is 90%, 95%. I truly believe of sales. Skills very, very small, 5 to 10%. Some people say more. I truly believe it's 90 and 95%. And I've got an hour window to make sure people leave with the right mentality out of that office. That's why I take it so very, very serious. That's why we have really high standards with it.
Love that.
Yeah.
So obviously, like, you brought me out here. You flew me from freaking Utah, made me get on a plane, sat there.
Made you.
They like.
You wanted to come to Australia.
They gave me one bag of pretzels.
You were gonna come anyway.
Yeah.
I was over here like, fine. No, and I'm excited. We're gonna tour around for the next few days. But like, why bring in outside? Like, why bring in coaches? Why go to conferences? Why, like, you guys are coming out to DoorDoorCon, which is epic. Like, hey, we're gonna have some international presence at DoorDoorCon.
Let's go.
But like, why do that?
I think that one is because we made a decision not long ago to start pushing our comfort zone again. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's what I was saying before. We got to the point where, like, we're better than everybody here in Australia, but then we realized, but we need to better ourselves. Like, we need to beat the previous version of ourselves. And we were like, we just don't know what we don't know, And, we started approaching more coaches. We started approaching more people in the digital space to learn from them. And with you, to be honest, we just didn't know much about you. I had a look at 3 seconds of one of your Instagram video. I got a good vibe from it. You looked like a very nice person that you knew what you were saying. We just got a good vibe, and we called you over without overthinking it too much. And And then it turned out to be a fucking amazing thing, right? Because over the last couple of days,
Yeah.
you know, it's funny because we brought you here for a reason, and we spoke about the reason for 2 minutes, and then we went, we covered
rabbit holes.
completely different topics, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, it was more like, to be honest, Sam, it was more like to expand our mind, remove our limitation, remove our limiting beliefs, getting external perspectives. Like, we got to the point where we really realized that we don't know what we don't know, and to know more, we gotta open ourselves up,
100%.
right? So, and what our priority right now is to expand our network further, and we started taking actions towards it. So
Yeah.
that would be, I know it was a very long explanation, but that's
No,
the
but
explanation.
I love the word you said is overthink.
Yeah.
I think people overthink,
Yeah, well.
and they don't. They maybe have never taken that leap to spend the $1,000s or do this or go there, because they're like, well, am I gonna get the right return, and is this
That's
gonna
why
happen?
Yeah,
like
spending these and it's expensive.
yeah, and it's like, wait a minute, like what's on the other side of you not overthinking? If you think about that, it's
The way I saw that as well was like, well, look, he's got credibility. He's awesome. All our guys love him. He's going to be good. And if he isn't, that's just going to build even more belief for us, because if someone's shitter than us doing what he's doing, well, then what are we doing? So I saw it as a positive both sides.
oh, I love that.
Yeah.
It's like being able to come up with best and worst case scenarios. There's always a best case
Yeah.
scenario.
And
I
It
love
turns out
that.
you're a stud. So
and
well done.
actually, to add to that, we committed to our team that we're gonna do big things moving forward. We committed that we're gonna build this new brand, that we're gonna take massive actions. They know you. Like, I posted a video this morning in our group chat, and I was like, Sam is over here in Brisbane for a couple of days.
They were
It just
jealous.
went off because they're like, fuck, you guys are taking action. Like, we just got probably the best consultant in the world in this space, right, over to Australia to come here and teach us what we need to do next. People that are not committed don't do that shit,
No.
right? They don't do that shit. We're coming over in January to your conference because we are committed. That also sent a very good signal to our team. They were
Yeah.
like, we're committed.
Yeah.
This time we're doing it and we're serious about it.
Which is a leadership quality.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of leaders that are kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out, or they're kind of distant, or they're absent. And I watch, you know, and it's almost like, how fast can I delegate all of the influence and the leadership and the training and kind of disappear slowly?
Yeah.
And it's kind of a scary place to be. And it's like, there might be evolutions where you kind of get to that point, but like, I think the real value of really coming and bringing groups together and getting them to buy in, they want to see the leader buying even more.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, if you're going to ask me for my buy-in and my commitment,
You gotta.
What's
You
your-
better be.
You better. And-
You better be.
and the hardest part is most reps and managers don't see the behind the scenes. Like, it's funny, like, I had a guy call me, he's like, hey, like, you know, can you come train my sales guys and knock with those? Like, dude, that's not what, I'm good at that, but like, that's honestly like 9 times out of 10, I'm in a freaking conference room for 8 hours with the owners. He's like, really? And I was like, yeah, it's just boring to post those videos. It's like, you know, I was like, it doesn't make a fun social media content. Let's just be real.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I was
No,
like,
that's,
I'm so much more behind the scenes with the owners than I am actually like training a rep and stuff, because
Yeah,
the
of
value
course.
is really there. And he was like, oh, I didn't know that. I was like, yeah, that's like what I do. But I was like, and nobody else sees the owners in a room, in a conference room, on a whiteboard, beating their head against the wall, or running payroll, and back behind the scenes trying to crunch finance numbers. Because it's boring. Like,
Yeah.
they just reps like run a meeting rah and go
Yeah.
sell. Numbers are on the board, but it's like, I just think it's funny how like doing things like this to at least show like where 90% of your stuff goes unseen.
Yeah,
And that's a hard
100%.
part as a leader sometimes. It's a lonely place because like, dude, if you just saw what I did, they're like, what do you do all day? You're like, what do you mean? It's like, you want to know how many text messages I sent today? Like, it's like, anyway.
Yeah, that's true, right?
So hardest part about being a business owner?
Being a business owner.
That's great answer. Being a business.
Keep it simple.
It's sometimes it's like, what do you mean by that? Expound on that.
Look, I think being a business owner is very glorified and it looks very glamorous, and it can be, obviously. But I also think being a business owner is when you can leave your business for 6 months and you come back in a better place. So I actually truly believe I'm not a business owner right now, because we still have to work in our businesses. So the hardest part for me is wanting more now, knowing what I can do and knowing how big we can get in here and not being here right now. So it's a very frustrating place to be. But yeah, business is hard. Business, you got to put in more effort than every employee. Yeah, and you have to. But it's hard for something you love. It's hard for something you do. Like, everyone should have a goal to be a business owner. It's harder not being a business owner and going down a 9 to 5, 40 years in the same job path with regret at 70 years old. That's the way I see business. It's at least you're doing what you want to do.
Love that.
Yeah.
What would you say to that?
I don't know. To me, it's a little bit different because I just wouldn't be able to imagine my life any different. Like, I love business so much that it's not really hard. I'm like, yeah, it's hard, but it's what I love.
That's what makes it fun.
Yeah, and if I see, if I try to imagine my life any different, where I'm not a business owner, where I'm not chasing my dreams or whatever, I literally would rather die. Like, I wouldn't want to even exist, to be honest with you. So I'm like, it's hard. I think it's really hard when you're not aligned, when you don't understand what's in it, and when you not understand what the life of a business owner looks like. And it's hard if, for instance, you have a partner that doesn't align with that either, and they expect something from you, but you can't because you have this life where you are fucking busy, and sometimes you gotta take the phone call at 7:30 or 8:30 p.m. and do you know what I mean? And there is nothing that you can do about it. It's just the life of a business owner. So I think as long as you are aligned with it, and as long as you have people in your life that understand that that's who you are, right? And that's what you're supposed to be doing, and they take you for the person that you are, rather than trying to change you, then it's not hard. I see a lot of people running businesses, but their friends, their family, their partner, they're always like, you're working too much, you're working too much, you're working too much. And it's like, no, I'm not working too much. I'm working too much from your perspective. Yeah. Because your dreams are different. Because the way you view life is completely different than mine. And so you try to put me in your frame. That's when it becomes hard. But I think if you're aligned with it and everything else around you aligns with it, then it's not hard. It's like, it is what it is. Fuck it.
Nuggets. Okay, so last question, and this is an interesting one. Differences you've seen now getting exposed to the American world, which you've not been exposed much, to the Australian world of door-to-door. What's differences, or what was shocking? What kind of opened your eyes?
We're not thinking big enough. So the size of the teams, that was probably the biggest thing that shocked me. Look, not shocked me, I actually kind of knew it, but just to hear it again, especially from yourself, talking about the Utah fucking mega hub, that just excites me. And we're not thinking anywhere near big enough over here. Between us, we thought big. Yeah. It's funny because every time we've sat together, we've reflected on our life, we've set new goals, we've actually achieved every single fucking goal. We've done that. Now we just need to do it 10 times bigger, 100 times bigger, to be honest.
Sure.
Right now, every single goal we've done 3 years ago, right now my whole life is exactly how I designed it. Yeah. Everything's come, the manifestation is now reality. So we just need to think bigger. That's the biggest difference.
Yeah, for sure. Look, for me, it's like, we came to this conclusion later. We're like, all right, we're gonna build this brand, and it's gonna look like this, and we're gonna revolutionize things, and nobody's ever done it before, and we're gonna destroy shit. And then you come here and you pull like 20 companies in America. We're like, oh fuck
me.
So they've done several times, and these people are killing it. So it's like, do you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, cool. So everything that we have in mind is highly achievable. It will be executed. It will be done. Now we have seen what these people have accomplished by doing it, the evaluation that have accomplished by doing it. So we're even more motivated and fueled than we were before, because we're like, you just gave us a blueprint right now, what we can copy as well. And we're like,
thank you.
It's over there, we know what to execute, right? So yeah, it just builds more confidence, to be honest. We were confident already, but again, having an example like what I was saying before, something where you can already watch the end result, and you're like, that's what the end result looks like. It's like, cool, we know what to do.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. Hey guys, you got a ton of value out of this. Like I get giddy. Like I'm in Australia. Like I zoomed out on a map and I was like, oh, I'm on the other side of the world. It's summertime. We're going to the beach tomorrow. Yeah, I'm like, I was skiing 3 days ago. And so it's just like to learn from you guys and to see people taking door-to-door serious and to see you guys having pride in it too. Like it was so fun to be able to find common ground with people on the other side of the world in different continents, to say like they're proud to knock doors and they're like, guys are sharp and they're doing it the right way. And like it's like it was so rewarding to be like, this impact that I set out on, and it's not just my thing, but it's like, to unify, up level, bring honor, integrity. It's like there's other people across the world that are singing the same freaking song.
Yeah.
That to me was like so rewarding, and to continue to be able to spread that message was just just a really cool opportunity for me. So thank you guys for having me.
Thank
on.
you. Thank you for coming.
Yeah,
Thank you.
This was awesome. So thank you guys for listening. Share this, like this, tag any of your Aussie friends, and about to see these guys. Collective community. Blow it up, baby. Community
Collective.
I love you guys. Okay, we'll see you.
Thank you.
Oh, that's great.